The UN predicts that by 2100, nearly every European country will see its population shrink faster than a wool sweater in a hot wash, except for one lucky nation. The population decline is already underway in 17 countries. And let's be honest, if it weren't for immigration, many more would be on the list. In this video, I'll dive into the numbers from the UN and Eurostat, exploring the quirky and sometimes alarming reasons these countries are slowly vanishing. Stick around to find out which European country is bucking the trend and set to grow by the end of the century. Spoiler alert, it's not who you think. First on our list is Romania, where the population is shrinking faster than a snowman in July. Since joining the European Union, Romania has lost a whopping 13.3% of its population, with an estimated 5.5 million Romanians now living abroad. Italy and Germany have become popular destinations, hosting around 2 million Romanians between them. The emigration trend began back in 1989, when Romanians courageously toppled Ceausescu's communist regime, while the dictator was executed in a dramatic Christmas finale. The lingering issues of poverty and corruption sent many Romanians packing in search of better opportunities. Although Romanians have a higher birth rate than their neighbors in Bulgaria, they still face a daunting mortality rate of about 15.4 deaths per 1,000 inhabitants. The usual culprits, circulatory diseases and cancer, are the leading causes of death, much like in Bulgaria. So, as Romanians continue to seek greener pastures abroad, the country's population is on a steady decline. Stick around as we continue our countdown of Europe's fastest dying countries. At number 9, we visit Bulgaria, where the population seems to be disappearing faster than you can say sudden exodus. This country is facing a triple threat: high mortality rates, low birth rates, and a significant number of immigrants. With only 8.15 births per 1,000 people, Bulgaria is struggling to keep up with a staggering 18 deaths per 1,000 inhabitants, giving it the highest mortality rate in the European Union. Why are Bulgarians leaving this beautiful country? Well, let's just say that the grass seems greener on the other side. In 2019, about 40,000 Bulgarians packed their bags and left, while only 13,000 immigrants and 9,000 returning citizens moved in. Over the past 12 years, this trend has led to a population loss of 10.3%. Health-wise, the situation isn't much better. A whopping 82% of deaths in Bulgaria are due to circulatory diseases and cancer, with smoking and alcohol being the usual suspects, according to local doctors. Despite Bulgarian women having one of the lowest average ages for first-time mothers in Europe, it seems the stork is still on vacation. So whether it's the allure of better opportunities abroad or the daunting health statistics, Bulgaria is waving goodbye to its citizens at an alarming rate. At number 8, welcome to Bosnia and Herzegovina, where the population is dwindling faster than ice cream on a hot summer day. Over the past 12 years, Bosnia has seen its population shrink by a staggering 15%, and the future looks even bleaker. According to the UN, Bosnia is at the top of the list for population decline, projected to lose an additional 49.4% by 2100, making it the fastest depopulating nation in Europe. Why the mass exodus? Each year, about 1.5% of Bosnians, especially young students and skilled workers, are leaving the country in search of better opportunities. This brain drain is leaving many Bosnians worried about who will steer the country toward a brighter future. Adding to the woes is one of the world's lowest birth rates, with a fertility rate of just 1.22 births per woman. The aftermath of the Balkan conflict, despite the peace brought by the Dayton Agreement in 1995, has left the country struggling to recover economically and politically. Curious about what other surprises the future holds for Europe? Subscribe now and stay tuned for more intriguing content and discussions. At number 7, we visit Hungary, where the population is declining faster than a New Year's resolution gym membership. Over the past few decades, Hungary has been losing its population at a steady pace, with the current count at around 9.6 million people. By 2050, it's expected to drop to about 8.5 million, according to forecasts. So, what's causing this population dip? For starters, Hungary's birth rate is one of the lowest in the Eastern Hemisphere, with only 9.5 births per 1,000 people, despite government efforts to boost the fertility rate, which currently stands at 1.55 children per woman. The widespread use of contraceptives and access to abortion have contributed to this trend, making it difficult for the population to sustain itself. Adding to the challenge is emigration. Many Hungarians, particularly women of childbearing age, are leaving the country in search of better opportunities, further exacerbating the demographic decline. Meanwhile, the aging population is putting a strain on the healthcare system, with most general practitioners nearing retirement age. Despite these challenges, Hungary's government has taken a unique stance on migration, focusing on attracting guest workers from non-EU countries to fill labor shortages in its manufacturing sector. However, this approach hasn't fully offset the population decline, and the country continues to face significant demographic challenges. So, as Hungary navigates these complex issues, its population story remains one of decline and adaptation. Curious about the country at number 6? Welcome to Croatia, where the population is slipping away faster than a sunburn on a cloudy day. Despite boasting a per capita GDP of around $17,000, Croatia has lost about 770,000 inhabitants in the last decade, nearly 17% of its population. This isn't just a rural phenomenon. Even city dwellers are packing their bags, making Croatia's situation quite unique compared to its neighbors. So, what's driving this exodus? The lack of affordable housing and a sluggish job market are the main culprits, especially for young couples looking to start families. It's tough to find a place to call home when housing is as elusive as a unicorn, and jobs are about as plentiful as snow in July. As a result, both emigration and low birth rates are plaguing the country. But it's not all doom and gloom. Croatia's tourism sector is booming, attracting immigrants eager for new job opportunities. In 2023, for the first time in 15 years, the number of arrivals surpassed departures, with Nepalese immigrants leading the charge over Bosnians and Serbs. This influx is a hopeful sign that Croatia might just turn the tide. So while Croatia navigates these demographic challenges, the country's picturesque landscapes and vibrant culture continue to draw people in. Welcome to Lithuania, where the population is dwindling faster than a plate of cookies at a bake sale. Over the past 12 years, Lithuania has lost about 17.5% of its population. And it's not just because of the chilly Baltic winters. While the birth rate isn't as dire as in some neighboring countries, the mortality rate is a hefty 15.6 deaths per 1,000 inhabitants. So, what's going on in Lithuania? Experts point to a trio of troublemakers: alcohol, obesity, and suicides. With 1 in 3 Lithuanian men facing serious alcohol issues, the country sees its fair share of road accidents and cardiovascular problems. And let's not forget that over 60% of adults are overweight, leading to strokes and heart issues, the second leading cause of death here. Suicide is another significant concern, with Lithuania holding the unfortunate title of the highest suicide rate in the EU and among OECD countries. This issue has roots in the social and economic upheavals following the fall of the Soviet regime. While the suicide rate has decreased since its peak in 1995, it remains alarmingly high. Limited mental health facilities make seeking help a challenge, adding to the country's woes. The healthcare system isn't winning any awards either, with public healthcare spending among the lowest in Europe. As a result, life expectancy in Lithuania has increased at a slower pace compared to global trends. Despite these challenges, Lithuania is a resilient nation, continuously striving to improve its situation. As we continue our countdown of Europe's fastest dying countries, stay tuned to see how Lithuania and others are tackling these demographic hurdles. Montenegro is on a demographic roller coaster, projected to lose more than 40% of its population by 2100. The country's current population stands at approximately 626,000 people. But with a negative growth rate, the numbers are steadily declining. This trend is driven by low birth rates and emigration, common challenges across Central and Southeast Europe. Young Montenegrins often seek opportunities abroad, drawn by the promise of better economic prospects in Western Europe and beyond. In response to these challenges, Montenegro has been proactive in attracting foreign labor, particularly for its seasonal service sectors, which are vital to its tourism-driven economy. The government has implemented initiatives like the One-Stop Shop for Migrant Workers, aiming to streamline employment processes and bolster its workforce. This strategy not only addresses labor shortages, but also seeks to invigorate the economy by integrating foreign talent, making Montenegro an attractive destination for workers from neighboring countries. Despite these efforts, Montenegro faces significant health challenges. Life expectancy for men is 73.7 years, slightly below the EU average, and there's a notable gender gap in life expectancy. This gap, although smaller than the EU average, highlights underlying health disparities that need addressing. The government is working to improve healthcare access and promote healthier lifestyles to bridge this gap. Montenegro's journey is one of adaptation and resilience, as it seeks to balance demographic shifts with economic growth and social stability. The nation's ability to attract and retain talent will be crucial as it navigates these demographic waters. With strategic planning and international partnerships, Montenegro aims to turn its demographic challenges into opportunities, ensuring a vibrant future for its citizens. Latvia is facing a dramatic population decline, having already lost 20% of its citizens in just 12 years. Eurostat forecasts a further 40% drop by 2100 unless trends shift. Despite significant progress since its Soviet past, Latvia still grapples with emigration, particularly to Western Europe. In a bold move to counter this, Latvia has formed commercial ties with China, aiming to create jobs and curb the youth exodus. This strategy has attracted many Chinese immigrants, making Latvia an unexpected new frontier for immigration, with immigrants now comprising about 14% of the population. However, Latvia's demographic challenges extend beyond immigration. The country faces a significant gender gap in life expectancy, with women living, on average, 10 years longer than men, a stark contrast to the EU average of 5 years. This disparity is attributed to higher cancer rates and a cultural tendency among Latvian men to ignore health issues. Latvia's efforts to revitalize its economy and retain its youth are crucial as it navigates these demographic challenges. The nation stands at a crossroads, striving to balance its identity with the pressures of globalization and migration. At number 2, welcome to Albania, where the population is dwindling faster than a summer ice cream cone. In recent years, Albania has experienced an economic boom, largely thanks to its thriving tourism industry. The country is no longer the Albania of the 1990s, when ships packed with Albanians fled to Italy, escaping poverty and instability. Today, Albania is positioning itself as the new Portugal, aiming to attract wealthy retirees and tourists from around the globe. Despite this economic upswing, Albania is still grappling with the ghosts of its past. From 2010 to 2022, the population decreased by a staggering 21%, and if things don't change, projections suggest a further decline of 35.5% by 2100. Immigration remains alarmingly high, with Albania having one of the largest diasporas in the world, trailing only Bosnia and Herzegovina and Guyana. While the coastal areas are buzzing with new developments and tourists, significant poverty persists, especially in the country's interior. Young Albanians, in particular, are feeling disillusioned about their future prospects. Despite the government's efforts to lure them back with incentives like $5,000 and tax exemptions, many remain unconvinced that the situation will improve dramatically. In 2023, Albania's tourism sector contributed significantly to the economy, with international visitor spending reaching record highs. Yet, this hasn't been enough to stem the tide of immigration. The youth, facing limited job opportunities and the lack of affordable housing, continue to leave in droves, seeking better lives abroad. As Albania strives to balance its economic growth with demographic challenges, the country remains a fascinating study of resilience and transformation. Don't miss out on our next adventure into the unknown. Subscribe now and be the first to know about my latest videos and discoveries. And now, welcome to Serbia, number 1 on our list. Between 2010 and 2012, Serbia saw a dramatic depopulation, losing nearly 27% of its population, around 2.5 million people. This makes Serbia one of the countries with the oldest populations globally. According to United Nations estimates, Serbia is set to be among the top 5 countries to lose 1/5 of their population by 2050. However, Bosnia and Herzegovina still holds the unenviable record for the most significant population decline by 2100. So, what's driving this mass exodus? While Serbia's mortality rate is high, it's not the worst we've seen. The birth rate, at 8.74 births per 1,000 inhabitants, is low, but not catastrophic compared to other European countries. The real culprit here is migration. Young Serbians are leaving in droves, seeking better job opportunities and salaries abroad. But there's more to it than just financial prospects. Studies and interviews reveal a deeper issue, a pervasive sense of disillusionment with the country's transitions and changes. Many Serbians feel trapped in a cycle of unpredictability, unable to envision a future where they can thrive. This lack of confidence in the country's ability to change and improve drives young people to seek stability and opportunities elsewhere. Thanks for joining me on this journey through Europe's changing landscape. I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on these demographic shifts? Drop a comment below and let's start a conversation.